Hi everybody, Seth Apter here. I'm in my studio in New York City. It's the day after Christmas in 2020, and I decided that today was the day to give you a tour of my studio. It's something that people have been asking for a while, and I decided that today is the day. And the reason for that is because I was fortunate enough to be asked to be in the magazine where women create. And yes, men sometimes are in that magazine too. Joe Packham, the editor, and we have worked together in the past, and she was gracious enough to invite me. And because of that, you know, before I took my photos that I straightened the studio. I did a little clean in here, a little clean in there, a tweak here, and a tweak there. I thought, what better time to then show video was when my studio looks its best. The reason why I'm waiting until now to share it, now being 2021, is because I wanted to wait until after the magazine came out so you can see the photos in that issue and you can see it live right here. So I'm going to flip the camera, take you for a tour. Hope you enjoy. So as I say, my studio's in New York City, and I am really lucky to have a pretty decent sized room for New York City. So I'm going to give you the pan shot just to give you an idea of what the room looks like. And I'm going to stop there because that's the $1 million view of New York City right out my studio window. And I'm going to continue to pan across just to give you a sense of the overall look of the room. I think the room is about, I don't know, maybe 12 by 18. I'm not sure about that exactly, but I have managed to use every corner of this space. There's a little bit of an entryway here, which is really cool. And I got closets, and you know they're filled with art supplies. And then we'll pan back. You get a sense of how I filled this space. There is stuff everywhere. You know how much we all love stuff. A lot of the art is mine, but a really good amount is either purchased or gifted from friends and artists that I admire. I'm gonna swing around, show you the rest of the 360, and then we'll look at each spot kind of in a little bit of detail. So for those of you who know me well, know that I mix a lot of different things in my art. I teach, I make art, I'm a designer for a lot of companies, and I have my own online shop. I've also written 2 books, and I've done a lot of online classes, especially since the pandemic. And so this room, this single room, needs to work for everything. So it's a storehouse as much as it's a display, as much as it's a working artist's spot. So you're going to look around and notice some certain things. I'm going to come around one more time, hopefully not making anybody dizzy, and I'm going to land on this cabinet, this bookcase. So this bookcase is a pretty good example of how I've managed to do everything in a New York apartment. So it is filled with products of mine, my own design from Izink, Aladdin. There's ice, there's dye sprays, there's pigments. So this is where I keep my stock. It's all really well organized and really well labeled because I found over time it's the only way for me to be able to manage it. And so when I get an order on my online shop, it's pick and pack from here. Sometimes it's very full, sometimes there's less product. But what I've really tried to do is not only be organized, but kind of try to be creative. So not only is the product in the shelves, but there's some paintings around it, and there's some objects, because who doesn't like objects? These paintings here above this cabinet, these are all mine. These were done, I don't know, a number of years ago, at least 5 or 6. I can't even remember. My style has sort of morphed and changed since then. But I really love these pieces as well. They blend abstract art with assemblage, which are 2 of my favorite categories to make. And then one of the things about me that I don't know that a lot of people know is that I love boxes, and I have a little bit of a box collection, and it's spread around everywhere. So if you go to the bottom of the shelf, you see some of the boxes. Some of them are really cool, so let's just take a minute to take a look at them. So this one's the American tool chest. How cool are these graphics? And that rusty elements to it. And then inside, how amazing is this? It actually comes with a little mini sword. Saw, not a sword. And it's got such great patina. That is so cool. And then my other favorite, I'm gonna take apart my studio for you guys, so sit back, because this may be a long one, is this box here. Oh, I love this. It's got a zinc top, a distressed zinc top, and it's got the most gorgeous blue patina. And then it's got 2 compartments, and anytime there's 2 compartments, that just thrills me. So I got that with that beautiful wood. This is totally handmade, not by me. And then you close it and lock it, and you flip this lock. This is the one-handed filming. And you have the bottom section. How cool is that, my friends? I just love that. All right, my studio hasn't been in this good shape in so long. I'm actually gonna put this away while you're watching, rather than leave a trail behind me. I love the patina on this one too. Oh, that's beautiful. Let's just open it. Ah, great tackle box. Sometimes you sit here and you just decorate, and other times they become used for projects. So I have a bunch around the room that are filled with things as well. I'm gonna move around here and I'm gonna kind of show you the bottom of this. This is my favorite piece of furniture, but the bottom has lots of little boxes, things with drawers, tins, books, just stuff. And then right above this, I have books and magazines. And above that, that's where, oh, my favorite piece. And it's filled to the brim. I'm gonna back up and show it to you. It's an old postal cabinet that I got quite a number of years ago at ABC Carpet and Home. It was a birthday gift from my sister, one of my best gifts ever, I'd say. And so I use this for several different things. I use it to hold, again, some of my products. So these are stamps that I have for my shop from Impression Obsession. And then I have some miscellaneous products there. And then my favorite part is just the vignettes. So each of these little postal elements are just filled with little vignettes. So let's do a scan. Let me see if I can do 2 at once. Just lots of stuff. So you can see some of what I really love most here. I collect tins. That's a little bottle that I made, decorated. Little pieces of art I've made. These are spool books that I've made. These are little plates from my good friend Patricia Larson. More little elements I've made. And then just stuff. Because who doesn't love stuff? Oh, how many times have I said that? A couple of pieces of art of mine. And what I really love about this cabinet is just the details. All the little tape and the numbers, oh, and the colors, seriously. And then we have the ruler. This is good stuff. There's some glasses, they're all over the place because I can never find them. Really cool stencil I got. And this is actually one of my favorite things. I got this in Cargo in Portland. Put it on the floor. It is just a gorgeous, gorgeous Asian book that's just filled to the brim with beauty. And one of my favorite things about it are the tabs. Who doesn't like a book with tabs? All right, let's put that back. I'm gonna pan back, guys. Again, we're gonna take our time with this, so grab a cup of coffee if you need to. And then just a little bit of display with some art from friends. Mixed media art, that's what it's all about. And I'm gonna back up a little bit just to give you an idea of where that sits. That's that entryway. There's the postal cabinet. There's another closet. I am gifted with closets in New York City. There are so few closets, and I have 3 in this room. which is just amazing. Got a little corner here with some stuff. It's hard to see with the light, but it's getting dark outside, so I thought having a few lights inside would be helpful. And again, it's just stuff, it's just things, because we all love our things. I am a very loyal person, and when I say loyal, what that translates to is that, for example, when I find a product I like from a certain brand, I use it. I'm loyal when I teach to the stories that I teach, but I'm also loyal is another way to say that sometimes I find an object that I like and I place it and it never moves. So some of this stuff has been in the same place for, I don't know, 10 years. This is a wall that's mostly filled with Japanese prints, something that even before I started to dabble as an artist, because I came to art late in life, I would purchase when I could. Some of them are not, some of them are from friends. This is probably my favorite section of the studio right here. It's just a cornucopia of things I've collected, and you can tell the colors that I like based on the fact that there's pretty much only those colors here. Kind of vintagey and rusty. I'm gonna pan and then I'm gonna show you a close up. I do have a lot of artwork here from friends. I'm lucky to have very talented and generous friends. Some I bought, but a lot of it's been gifted. This is a book I made, so long ago. It's called Shuben. This is a book I made in a class I took, taught by Roxanne Evans Stout and Leanna Light. One of my favorite classes, it was in Taos, and I absolutely love what I created in this book. This is not an art show today, it's about the studio, so I'm not gonna show too much art. This is a gorgeous encaustic piece from Bridget Gears and Mills. This is an amazing work of art from Keisha Deveni. Definitely one of my favorites, so much character. This is a piece I bought years and years ago from Lynn Hope. Love that face. And this was a gift from Michael Demang. This is Dark Setho. Quite a good resemblance. This is from Elizabeth Bunsen. And then most of the rest of the stuff isn't traditional art. It's just kind of found objects and things with drawers and things with rust. Below I have another one of my favorite boxes. I'm just gonna try to open it for you. I got this at a flea market in New York City, I don't know, I wanna say even 30 years ago. So long ago. That says syringe. It's just such an unexpected find. And then I got this in Brooklyn, and I do not remember the name of the artist, but it's, the top opens, it's got this great graphic, the drawers all open. It's pretty cool, I think, right? All right, so let's just pan back and show you that wall again. And then let's shift gears a little bit and bring you over here. So remember that cabinet? Remember that cabinet? So that's an area where I work. I have sort of two work areas. I usually stand when I work here, but I do have a little bit of a stool. And I have my guillotine, which I use a lot, especially for cutting book boards, but also cutting paper. Some more Japanese art. Some of my own art hanging on the walls there. Paint and ink and gesso and embossing powder, my jelly plate, because you can't live without a jelly plate. And of course you can't live without washi tape, so I got some of that too. And underneath I have some storage. Let's see what I got in here. These are Bisley cabinets. This is how I store a lot of my stuff. And this is all stuff that I use for assemblage. Assemblage art is art that I have used a lot in the, used a lot of the stuff in the past. I haven't been working as much with it. And I know it's kind of dark here. It's hard to see. And then got some old school wood mount rubber stamps here as well. So then when you flip around, I kind of created in the middle of the room this sort of small area, this small central area, so I can work at both tables, go back and forth, have access to paint and stuff that's in between. This sometimes is used for work and sometimes it's used for display. Right now, because of the shots for where women create, I made it full on display, but I sometimes take that stuff off and I have more space. I use that white table here for things to dry, when I have a lot of wet things, or if I just have a work in progress and I need more space, I use it. Otherwise, I have just a lot of quirky elements there. You can see just based on what's on the floor and that chair, I love tribal elements. They're sort of spread out through the studio. You may or may not have noticed them on the ladder there. All right, so you guys get a sense of that area. I think you're probably getting a good gestalt of the room. We're walking over to, let me just show you from far away. We're walking over to an area that probably more people are familiar with because this is where I always sit when I do any of my videos. And I know you guys know my Inspirational Wall, but let me just pull around this way and give you a sense of this room from this end. So that's that Inspirational Wall. It is almost, as I said, it's the day after Christmas. So at the end of every calendar year, I take that entire wall down and I rebuild it. And it's a Herculean effort, and one that actually when I do, I'm not always happy to do it because it's so much work, but when it's done, I'm so happy. So sometime in the next week or two, this will come down. So you guys are seeing it, you know, almost the last eyes to see it. And then there's the desk that I do a lot of work on. It's really my computer desk. So I'm there, I don't know, seems like 14 hours a day. But I also sometimes just make art there. A lot of times when I'm doing things like collage, things that aren't wet, rather than working over at this table, I just stay at this table. It's just easier because I have a lot of other elements back here that I can reach for just really quickly. And then I have more storage. I got some paper artsy paints. This whole 3-tier wheelie thingamajobber makes me really happy. I just love their paints. And then I got more storage. This is again the Bisley. So this is where I keep also things for assemblage, but smaller bits and pieces. And I will tell you that over the years, these used to be just in, I don't know, like drawers and big boxes. And I would be looking for a piece. I'm pretty good with knowing exactly what I have, even though I have a good amount. And I could not find the one piece I needed. And over the course of, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 months, quite a number of years ago, I decided it was time to organize. So things are really organized. I would say that it's the only way to be able to work with these kinds of elements. This is one of my favorite drawers just to look at. And then I think, let's see, yeah, we got more bits and pieces. I'm pulling out all these drawers because I know you guys, this is speaking your language. This is the kind of stuff that any artist, especially a mixed media artist, you know, really kind of gets off on, if you know what I mean. Yeah, stuff. We love stuff. Some cabinet, filing cabinet there where I keep stuff, you know, paperwork and things like that. That's not really that exciting. Glue sticks, I don't know. Another cart with some paint and my ice. And then the place I live at. This is my computer desk. So let me just sit down. This is my view that I have 24/7. Let's put that light a little lower. So this is what I look out at, and I just see it all the time. I got my cup of iced tea because I can't live without my iced tea. It's just a nice view, and I surround myself with things. I'm on the swivel chair right now, guys. Things that just make me happy and bring me joy. We're going to show you a bit of the view outside. Really hard to see because of the reflection of the lights. But yeah, I spend probably way too much of my days sitting in this chair and working on this computer, and I know you all know what that's about. And then again, a little more stuff. This is such a cool find. These are my business cards, and it's in this kind of faux typewriter. I got that years ago, papyrus. Wish I could get more, but nope, that was a long time ago. And then this is my pride and joy, the Inspiration Wall. This is art that I've made, that other people have made, that people have gifted me, that I found, that I've purchased. I'm gonna have to do a video of this at some point, and I think I'll wait till I have the new board up, and I can take you around and tell you who gave me or whose work it is, because so many of my amazingly talented friends are up on this board. And then in addition to art, there's just some, other things. There's bits and pieces of things I found. There's just little rusty metal bits, some photographs I've taken, little bits and pieces of art, an old journal page I made, some gifts, photographs of people I know, so many cool things. And I love having this right above my head and basically in my view every time I swivel when I'm working on the computer, because it just takes me away from the computer and it brings me more to sort of the beauty of art. I use these clipboards. I change them up a lot. Sometimes they have art, sometimes they have notes. I think everything on those is mine up to that point. I love having metal bits and things that kind of hang. So I made sure to have lots of stuff there. And people have asked me about this. This is something that's been up on my wall for a long time. There's 16 by 16 inch squares that are magnetic. They're metal squares. It's kind of metal mesh squares. And then, so you can see what they look like. And then there's just a 12 by 12 piece of scrapbook paper underneath. And then little tiny magnets that just hold everything in place. It's so easy to change up. It's really convenient to have. I've thought about sometimes maybe giving up the art part and just using it as where I can place art I'm working on, or notes about new stamps that I'm designing, or my most recent designs, but I don't know, I just can't seem to give it up. This is a relatively new addition, this table. There used to be just some boxes really there, and having that sort of tiered table is so good because, as you guys know, there's just so much paperwork and things you just need to keep track of. These are my own colors of paper artsy paint, so I've separated them out. Always excited to work with that company, and I love to be a designer for them and with their paints. This is some of my own artwork that's on the wall here. I think these 5 pieces are all mine. And then in addition, I have a few of my self-portraits here. This is sort of an altered photograph that I did quite a number of years ago. And this was in my first book, The Pulse of Mixed Media. That's my self-portrait. Shift gears a little bit and show you right here. That's my self-portrait from my second book, The Mixed Media Artist. Can't have a studio without having pens and markers and mark makers and brushes and stuff, so I keep mine all here. And I don't know if I'm bad because I don't keep my pens on their side. I like them this way. Got some art and stuff that I've had actually for years from different people. We got washi tape. We got kind of rub-ons. I love rub-ons and washi tape. We got washi tape letters. Rub-on letters. I'm mixing them all up. We just got some stuff in here. And oh yeah, we got more more deliciousness in this drawer too. Can't be an artist without a printer in these days. My cabinets are filled with stuff. I think this is a lot of my collage papers. People always ask me how I sort them, and I don't. They're just in 1 or 2 or 5 places, but they're all available. I know I can turn around and just grab them. And then let's just take a quick peek outside. It's going to be hard to see because the lights are on the inside, but I think at the very end I'll turn the lights on. I'll turn the lights off so you can see what it looks like outside. I have this great cabinet here, which is filled with stuff both in and on. Again, much like this table, which has 2 tiers. This has 2 tiers, which has been so helpful. So this is either just displays, it's stuff that I'm working on, a little bit of collage paper, art that's in progress, or art that's finished that hasn't been mounted or incomplete. And then I love this down here. This is just some of my old art. Most of this are books. I love making handmade books. Many of these are books that I made either in collaboration with other artists or books that were travel journals. Just take a quick look at a few of them. Give you an idea of what some of my art is. This is a very old collab that I did with Bridget Gears and Mills and Jen Warden. Again, this is not meant to be an art show today, so I am just going to show you a little bit. These are all the different pages were worked on by the 3 of us. Different pages were worked on by the 3 of us. This is an old travel journal from Greece. This is an old travel journal from London and Prague. I think it's 20-something. It's either 2010 or 2012. Every time I used to do these travel journals, every journal would be very, very different. At this point in time when I travel, up until the time of the pandemic, it was traveling for teaching. And so I did not, unfortunately, have time like I did when I travel for pleasure to keep these journals. I hope to get back to that at some point. But they are really fun to keep and great keepsakes because when I read through them, they just take me right back to where I was. Got some more stuff here. These are little drawers. Anything with little drawers I love. I store lots of different things in here. And then these are also where, when I have washi tape for my store, they're tucked in these little drawers. Some little, mostly rusty vintage old doodads. I've been fortunate enough to, over the years, to have been in a good number of magazines. And you can see here, these are magazines where either my name or my project was somehow on the cover. So I've been so fortunate. I thought this was pretty cool that this Somerset studio, let's see, it's from 2012. The art right there that's on the cover, I put the artwork right above it. So that's kind of a neat reminder. We're gonna back up because we still got a half a wall to show you guys. I got another cabinet here that includes some of my product on the lower levels, and then some non-product stuff. I have lots of old book covers because I do a lot of art on book covers and with book covers and book parts. I have 2 of those boxes, really cool boxes that are actually filled. I'll open them in a second. Actually, let me just open them now. These are projects that I did in Taos, New Mexico. Some of my favorite things. I love creating lots of little things and then storing them in their own box. This is a really cool old lunchbox. And then this one, which was such a great find. Look at this. Look at this like attaché case. It's just really cool. Haven't opened this one in a while. Let's see what's in that. Okay, good stuff. Again, all these little projects. These were done with Roxanne Evans Stout. She and I teach twice a year when there's no pandemic in Taos, New Mexico at Mabel Dodge Lewin House. It's called Case of Curiosities, and this is one of our cases. I'm gonna put it back. Bear with me, guys, so that I don't leave my trail wherever I go. This is a find from a long time ago. It's a Watchmaker's cabinet, which fits perfectly in this bookcase. And it's got all the labels, and it's got all the different watch parts and all the little drawers. Such a cool find. You can't open the top because it's got stuff on it, but the lid flips up. It's just stuff everywhere. And then I have, it's kind of dark in there, but I've created a little vignette scene with lots of little bits and pieces. It's getting a little lighter on this end. And oh yeah, that's one of my cats that I made. And in the back, more vignettes with some art and found objects, just some really cool things. I do really like plants. In fact, all around the room, you'd actually look, you'd see a lot of dead plants. I like sticks and pods and things like that. Some of my art, if you know me, you know I also love texture. So there's a bit of texture in that art. And another one of my collages. And then, how cool is this? So I got this cabinet, and I want to see does anybody notice something wrong here? Something so wrong that it's right? The number 2 is missing. They gave me a 1, 3, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's what you get when you order something online. But honestly, I was over the moon. I wasn't going to return it. I love the fact that there's 2 3s. 3 is such a great number in art. It's an odd number. 3 elements are in many pieces of my art, and this is just, again, filled with stuff. Some of my products, some of my stamps, some of my embossing powders from WOW, more of my stamps. Yeah. And then, okay, honestly, you might not believe me, but while there is a TV in here, it's been in here forever, I almost never use it. If I'm going to watch anything, it's gonna be on that little guy, that computer, but I've never moved it. I figured you never know. I've got a great cabinet in here that's also good for storage. So if you go in, again, kind of hard to see, but there's just boxes, and most of the stuff in there is fiber and fabric. And we're brought back to look where we are, my favorite spot again. What do I have in here? Oh, I got lecture sets. Which I love these. I found these several times in some flea market vintage places, and really got a lot of them. Oh, more washi tape, because I don't have enough washi tape. Some thread and stuff. Some embossing powder stuff, some just paper goodies, and some drawers waiting to be filled. How cool is that? All right, so we're gonna do one more spin around, and as we spin around, we're gonna turn the lights out so I can get back and show you the view from outside, and that will take us to about 35 minutes. And 35 minutes is good because any longer than that, and you might get bored. Any shorter than that, and I really couldn't take you through and show you the stuff. So we're going to turn the lights out. These little mini lights I have around, I did say it's the day after Christmas. Those are here all year round. I just like the ambiance, the flavor. So I'm gonna go to the window, I'm gonna turn out that last light, and that'll give you a much better view of what I get to see. I am so fortunate. Being in New York, I have lived in New York, I don't know, near 40 years now, maybe a little bit less, a couple years less, and I have lived in some not so nice places, and the fact that I'm living on the 29th floor and I have a view, it's the first time I've ever had a view. I feel so very fortunate, and I am always making sure to never take it for granted. Kind of hard to see really, but city lights. If it was during the day, you'd just be seeing buildings, and if you see a few colors out there, and that's the holiday lights. All right, so let's pan around the room dark, because why not? Definitely kind of moody, right? Oh, I left that one light on. Should give you a better view of that. And let's go and sit back down. And I am going to say thank you so much for joining me. I so appreciate that you guys took this tour with me and are so supportive of me as an artist. If you're interested in contacting me about anything that I shared today, feel free to do it. shap97@gmail.com. But your best bet is just to go to my website, sethapter.com. You can find me and my links to anywhere from there. So thank you. One more spin around. And I'm glad that I finally had a chance to do this and share my little space with you. Thank you.